All right, now let's go to the commodity space now with Halima Dedinro. Halima, good to have you a second time this week. Good morning.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Yeah, so I don't know if by now the cuts in Dangote's ex-depot price has trickled down to the pump.
Okay, I can't really say for now. We've not checked through the prices at the different filling station. But what I can say is that, we said earlier this week that as the global price shifts, there will be review as regards the domestic market. But what we are seeing presently is a reverse. The global price is about $70 per barrel right now.
Yeah, no, it came down to 69 this morning. Yesterday 69. It was at 70.
It was at 70.
This morning it came down to 69.
And it is up to 70 again. I just checked. I can't tell.
Just before you came in?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So that means for price setting, Dangote is trying to look at the expectation in terms of the need of the domestic market, and also the price in terms of the global market. And let's not forget that the Brent that is being processed today is it has like a 90 days features. Is gotten like 90 days back.
Yeah, and the contract, is it 90 days or 2 months?
It's always 90 days too.
Okay.
So, and also the Naira to Brent is also there, which is
the crude for
Naira, which is also a good one that it will cost what is called the import cost, so to say, because Dangote is getting some part of his crude.
Yeah, and then I saw news that he's expecting that by the end of this year he will get 100% of the crude that he needs from Nigeria.
That's what the expectation is. So bringing this together, we'll see that the refinery is also trying to launch the CNG trucks, which means lesser demand for diesel, and it will also cut down the price in the coming months. So all this put together is trying to tell us that scale of production is filtering into the price of the commodity, and also value addition is also a good one for the economy. And being the fact that is a big producer compared to others, is trying to set the price and have a larger market share. So it's a win-win for Nigeria, for price movements and price pressure, and also supply in all. Yeah.
So, but we're still waiting for it to trickle down to the pump and all of that. Yeah. Then tomorrow is supposed to be D-Day, according to the reports, where we get our rebased GDP. I think FDC has gotten a little bit of news about what it could look like.
No, we haven't.
Okay.
But when we look at rebasing, as we rightly said the other time, earlier this week, we'll see that it's good because we said it will capture more activities.
Yeah.
And also because countries like Ghana, South Africa, their GDP is being measured in dollar terms. So when it comes to comparison, it will help in terms of how is this country performing in relative to those countries in the same region and even outside the region. It's a good one. But beyond that, we would see that in 2014, that it was rebased, our GDP is about $500 billion. So, and it came down to $300 billion, meaning we did bad. We didn't do well compared to 2014. Now we are saying it's likely to go back to $500 billion. So if we look at it net, it's not really a good one because the population has increased. So per capita income compared to what it was in 2014 and now has dropped in real terms. And so we will need to work more on inclusive growth to really help the masses feel the impact, because in terms of poverty, we are below the poverty line, and in terms of unemployment, we are still battling with that. So we still need more work in terms of that, so that at least not just in figure terms, in reality and in the effect of the disposable income, standard of living, the populace can really feel the impact.
Do we know what new sectors, could be captured?
Okay,
in this rebate?
Especially for the service sector, there are so many sectors that would be captured in that area. So there are fintech and all, so many subsets that is likely to be captured and is doing. And if we look at the what is it called, the federal accounts, we see that the non-oil sector is really doing well. It captures about 60% or so of the revenue. So meaning our what is it called now? Our reliance or our risk to oil sector is declining gradually. So
is it really declining?
Reliance.
Okay, when the reliance.
When it comes
but when
to
we look
revenue,
at the revenue and all, we're still.
Yes. So it's becoming all encompassing as against what we had before now. That is just oil. So.
All right, but Naira we see recovered at least in the informal market, the parallel market. But I mean, the good thing is it's still around under 1,006, yes, 1,005 yes. 1,005 1,000. So
it's still there's a stability. Let's put it that way. So the volatility has reduced. And why we are seeing that is because of different factors, the good and the bad. Why I said that is because the latest PMI, we see that it dropped.
The one from CBN increased. So it's the one from Stanbic.
Yeah. Yes. So meaning the drive or the increase in economic output declined, so to speak. Meaning the pressure in terms of importing and all would help has helped the Naira to appreciate. That is on one hand. Then the second thing is the new policy in terms of using Naira cards to do international transactions. Though there are restrictions, $500 for some banks, $1,000 per month for some banks.
I am sure
per month.
I'm not even sure. Have you met somebody who has done it? Because I find it hard to.
He's just coming in. So
exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, are you sure it has already started?
I'm just saying.
Even though the banks have told us that it will start.
They said it will start this week. But I'm just saying it's looking forward, the outlook for the Naira, because it will reduce the pressure in terms of I want green back to do this. Though the limit is still 1,000. So I think with time they will improve on that. That is on one hand. And if we look at what is it called, the FPI, that's really been helping. It's increased in this last June. Though it's hot money, it's not sustainable, but it's one of the things helping. And that's why when he plummeted some months back, we'll see that the CBN quickly increased the treasury bill so that it will attract investors, because the uncertainty in the global market is making some people to move away from the US market to other emerging markets. So it depends on how we position ourselves to really harness that opportunity. But now I think the treasury bill rate has come down to 16%.
Yeah, I think it's
which is 16%. Signaling to.
But it's still better than the federal government saving bonds and all of that.
Very better. But it's a signal to foreign investors that, are you sure this MPC, CBN are not tilting towards dovish stance? We're having our meeting in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So it could affect what we are going to see maybe in July as well. So we just need to look at what is more sustainable. So that is.
Well, I guess they will just have to go from here to here and find
see
out
a balance.
But I mean, the biggest would be the FDIs, which unfortunately we saw dropped. The last data that we saw, it dropped, and if we can attract more from that end.
But generally and in aggregate, the investor sentiment as regards Nigeria and emerging markets has improved compared to before. So I think if we could do some more.
But we still saw a 19% drop in FDI. That was a huge
It's very huge. It's very huge. So if we could do some more, we could. We
want the president to travel more?
Not really. It's not really about traveling, actually. It's really about the substance of what the traveling will bring about in terms of discussion, agreements reached, trade policies and all. So I think we could go from there to see changes positively.
All right. Just that politics has taken over now. Everybody's talking about 2027, you know, and it doesn't seem like we're going to get a lot of attention.
That's a topic for another day.
But anyway, what's happening to domestic commodities?
Okay, we are still seeing it being mixed. Some are flat, while some are up. Like beans now, the price is up. And it's not surprising because for beans, the cultivation period is always between June to October every year. Though irrigation could help in doing it all round, but the typical cultivation time is between June and October. And that's why we are seeing that uptick. And coupled with the insecurity factor, because most of these things are coming from the northern part, Borno, Gombe, they are those that are really into the cultivation of beans. And so that's why we need to do more in terms of preservation, so that when we have bumper harvest, it could be stored, and it could lessen the impact when we have cultivation period. So it is mixed, and those are the prices for now. Beans, rice coming up, but others are flat. So that is the situation currently.
All right, Halima, thank you so much for all of this information. Halima Adedinro is analyst with Financial Services Company. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.